Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to our student, author, and illustrator ceremony today. The California Foundation for Agriculture in the Classroom has been teaching students and teachers about where their food and fiber come from for more than 30 years. And this Imagine This story writing contest is one of our premier programs. And the contest is really developed to create a positive learning experience that kind of promotes reading, writing, the arts, and it does it through a creative process. So as part of our mission to educate students and teachers, students from throughout the state are writing stories about agriculture and having to do research and learn about it themselves. And then we have the stories illustrated by high school students, and they have to do the same research so that they know how to illustrate your stories. So this is a really special ceremony, and we were not able to do it in person last year. And so this is the next best thing. And today we're really honored to have the Secretary of the California Department of Food and Agriculture join us with a message. So Secretary Karen Ross.
Hi, I'm Karen Ross, Secretary of the California Department of Food and Agriculture. And this event honoring the students and the great authors and the great artists and their teachers and the parents who support them is one of my favorite events of the year. To say congratulations to our winners. Imagine This is just one of the most amazing programs. I wish that every school knew about this. I wish that more parents knew about this. And certainly the employer community needs to know about this. These students know how to write. They do amazing research, and they're so creative in their storytelling. And what really makes these stories come to life are the wonderful illustrations that high school students who have not even met those authors do. It's a fabulous program, and I'm so proud to be a supporter of it. So congratulations to our winners who did great research to write creative stories that are all inspired by agriculture. Listen to these topics: cauliflower pizza, colors don't matter. And I do have to call this one out because the impact of this story, talking about red bell peppers not being able to associate with yellow bell peppers after a year like 2020. Audrey and Ava, the avocados, the wonderful world of wool and all the products that can be made from wool. Allison and the secrets behind makeup, that was an excellent story. And backyard basil. We had winners from 4 different counties. We had students from 3rd through the 8th grade, and we even had a brother and a sister. This is a fabulous program. I'd love to get this book into the hands of every school child in California. So, Ag in the Classroom, thank you for sponsoring this. To the sponsors who make this program possible, Simplot, thank you for what you do to support this program. Here's to another successful year. And again, students, congratulations. I'm so proud of you.
So that is her message, and she was so sad when we said we have to do it virtually this year, but maybe you all will participate next year, and maybe we'll be in person. We'll keep our fingers crossed. So today's ceremony, we are celebrating the creativity of our 6th grade student winner, Hailee Lewis. And we're so happy to have you here, Hailee. Hailee is a student at Scott Valley Junior High School in Siskiyou County, way up north. Her teacher is Jed Merrihew. However, he was not able to make it today. And so sitting in is Hailee's principal, Tanya Pearsall. And we're glad that you were able to join us, Tanya. Hailee's story was illustrated by Luna Peace and Hailee Savigny. And I don't think Hailee was able to join us yet. Hopefully she'll join us late. They're from Florin High School, and with us, we also have Alexandra Peace, who is the teacher of the art students who did the illustrations. And we really appreciate all of your work, Alex, because it was a challenging year to get all this artwork done for the book. So we're excited with that. So Hailee, welcome. And now is your opportunity to read your story entitled The Wonderful World of Wool. Take it away.
The Wonderful World of Wool.
Very nice.
One day, a girl named Mary went to the mailbox and found a very interesting envelope addressed to her. It was from a wool buyer that her family had always sold their wool to. She went inside, opened the envelope, and started reading the enclosed letter. It said that the buyers had kept tabs on some of the wool that was sent to market over the years, and they thought that she might like to know what had happened with the wool that was sold to them. Mary had one sheep in particular, Marshmallow, that was her favorite, so she decided to look up information on Marshmallow. After reading the letter, she discovered when Marshmallow was a yearling, her wool went to a wool insulation factory in San Francisco, California. Mary didn't know that sheep wool could be turned into insulation, so out of curiosity, she searched sheep wool insulation facts on her laptop. One article Mary read said that wool is a natural insulator because it has crimp nature that traps air in thousands of very small pockets. After Mary tired of looking up wool insulation facts, she grabbed that letter and read on. One year, she found out, Marshmallow's wool had been sent to a factory, and it was used to make lipstick and lotion. She didn't understand this process, so again, she turned to her computer and searched, how is sheep's wool used to make lipstick and lotion? That's the picture for that one.
I should open it up.
She learned from one article that lanolin is extracted by washing the wool in hot water with special wool scouring detergent to remove dirt, wool grease, crude lanolin, and anything else stuck to the wool. She found out that lanolin is used on baby skincare, shaving, hair care, manicuring, and suntan products, as well as several types of makeup. When she turned back to the letter, after about 30 minutes of researching, she found that another year her wool had been sold to a clothing and textile company. That year, the wool was shipped to China instead of being processed in California. After Mary finished reading the letter, she was curious about how much wool was produced in California versus how much was processed. She found out that just in California, over 400,000 wool-producing sheep provided 2.6 million pounds of wool in 2013, but only 3/100 of that wool was processed in the state. Later that night, Mary showed the letter to her mom, and she told her what she had learned about different ways wool can be used. How do people make wool into yarn? Mary asked. I don't know. Why don't we go find out? Her mother replied. Her mother pulled out her laptop and looked for a hand spinning club nearby. Here we go, she exclaimed an hour later. She had found a group on Facebook and messaged them asking if Mary and her mother could come see how to use wool to make yarn. They agreed to let them come to their next meeting, which was in a week. The next week, Mary and her mother arrived at the building the spinners used to hold their meetings. The president of the club, Maggie, showed them the fleeces that they used to make yarn. They were already skirted and cleaned, with all the belly, leg, face, and head wool taken out, leaving the fleece with the usable wool. After Maggie had shown them the fleeces, Mary saw how the spinners had to card the wool and separate the fibers using a carding paddle. After the fibers are separated, you move on to roving. Roving is the final step before spinning the wool into yarn, Maggie explained. We don't have a tool, so we use spice lids with a hole in the middle, and we push the carded wool through it, making thin strips. As the three walked over to a circle of women using spinning wheels. And the final step is to use the spinning wheels to make it into yarn. How much yarn can one fleece make? Mary asked. Well, 1 ounce of yarn can make up to 110 yards of yarn, and most fleeces are 2 to 30 pounds, Maggie replied. It's amazing how much you can do with wool, and I never would have known if it hadn't been for that letter, Mary explained. I wonder what will happen to Marshmallow's wool this year.
Very good.
That's it.
Very nice. Very nice. I think that's a great story And I would have to say you've really done your research to be able to figure out all of those different ways that that wool is used. So really great job on doing that. Let's see, now I want to recognize, first of all, I want to acknowledge Hailee. It looks like you were able to join us, so we're really happy that you could be a part of this along with Luna. But at this point in our program, I'd like to invite either Corey or Jamie to share any questions that they might have for you, Hailee, and then we'll move on to our illustrator team. Jamie, there you go.
Yeah, that's the first one. Hailee, I love it that I was reading your biography, and you actually raise sheep, huh?
Yeah.
You do? What kind are they?
We have Hampshires and Columbias. I think I have more Columbias. But I have about almost even. Columbias are the more wool producing. Hamps are more.
And so and your detail on the spice cap thing is pretty impressive. I was like, that kind of blew my mind. I had to think about spice cap. What do they mean? But it was like, no, like a real thing that you'd pull off like a jar of basil, those little holes. Did you actually go to a spinning group?
No, I did not, but I have during the fair, and then I kind of remember that because I needed more of a storyline, because I wanted it to be more of a story, not just listing a bunch of facts. So I did a little bit more research on that. I have seen it. I haven't actually gone to on research though. That would have been really cool.
Well, great job.
Yep. Corey, you have any questions for Hailee?
First, great job, Hailee. I have a 6th grade daughter too, and I just can't tell you, your reading was beautiful and your writing was beautiful too. So excellent job. It really reflects great on your school and your teachers, and so way to represent. Good job. My question for you is, what did it feel like when you found out that you were a state winner?
I was very excited because I've been a regional twice before in 3rd and 4th grade, and so I was super excited when I won regionals, but I'm like, this might be the year. This is the year. So when I finally won, I was super excited because 3rd time's a charm.
That's great.
That's fun.
Great job. Congratulations.
How did you find out that you were a winner?
I kept refreshing the page over and over, and I was just like, they aren't putting it up. They aren't putting it up. And then my mom went on Facebook and she found it out, and she's like, oh, Hailee, refresh it. And I'm like, there's nothing on here. And then she sent me a text, and I'm just like, oh, I've been looking at the wrong place.
That's great. That's great. Oh, that's fun to hear the anticipation, especially after being a regional winner, I'm sure. Oh, that's great. All right. And so do our board members have any questions for our 2 illustrators, Luna or Hailee?
Or Luna or Hailee. So all of a sudden, have you illustrated before? Have you taken part in this story illustration before?
Either of you?
But it was the first time for me, so I was a little bit nervous at first.
And Hailee, have you?
I have not. This is also my first time as well.
So what did you know about sheep going into this when you heard you have to illustrate a wool story about sheep? What was the first thing you did?
Luna, you go first.
Well, I looked up how to color and how to color wool, because that was a big part of it. I didn't really know much about sheep, how wool works. I know that it was made in a products, but I didn't really know how. So through the story, I actually learned something, which I think is pretty cool.
That's really cool. And Hailee?
The first thing I did going into it was just trying to research and get ideas of illustrations so I can create ideas in my head on what exactly to draw.
Yeah.
Very good.
Well, thank you both for taking the time to do it. Hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah. And Miss Peace, can you kind of give us kind of an overview of your history working with the program and how you selected these two young ladies to take this project on?
Yes, most definitely. This is, I think, my 4th or 5th year. I feel like it's 4, and maybe I'm just forgetting a year, the first year I did it.
Could be.
Maybe it's my 4th. I'm pretty positive it's my 4th, but so it's not my first time doing it. But Hailee, I had in my Art 2 class, and she was so amazing, and she was so great. She actually originally had her paired with someone that she sat right next to. They were good friends, and we end up losing contact with that person. It was really difficult, actually, the whole process of this, because I lost contact with my second artist. And so luckily, my daughter goes to Florin High School, and she loves to do art. She loves to read and illustrate. So it just like, at least I got to slide in someone and not like, Hailee got to have her work in there too. And I know she was looking forward to it because she had seen the books. Hailee's so awesome. She actually has done other programs with me. She was being modest. She was like, I've never drawn anything, but she actually, we have a memory project and other things we do illustrations for and portraits for. And she's always been really awesome. And I know this distance bit has been really tough on all the kids. So I was really lucky to live with one of my Florin High School students.
Yes,
I'll say that.
that worked out.
Yeah,
That's
definitely.
great.
And they're both awesome. Yeah, I'm pretty lucky. I love my school, so.
That's pretty nice. They did a really great job. And I wanted to ask Ms. Pearsall, tell us what your experience is with this, or you mentioned that Hailee had participated a couple of years earlier, but have many of your students written with the story writing contest?
Yes, we typically have 2 of our teachers, or we only have 2 English teachers, so they usually make this one of their writing projects in the fall because we are a very rural, agriculturally driven valley and community. And so yes, our teachers usually promote this and have all of the students submit a story, and then they kind of narrow it down. And so we have been very fortunate in years past. We had an 8th grade winner last year. And unfortunately, because of COVID, the ceremonies were canceled and we didn't attend. But yes, we have a couple of teachers who have submitted student work, who have won regionally and at the state level many times.
That's
so
great.
yes, we try to support the program and enter as often as possible.
That's really great. That's really great. Well, Corey or Jamie, any other questions before we share the awards that all these folks are going to be receiving?
Well, Hailee, are you interested now in maybe some different types of sheep, or even maybe some goats for different types of wool?
I have dairy goats.
Oh, you have dairy goats.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't think my dad will let me have any more sheep.
That's great.
We'll keep writing and keep drawing. So thanks, everyone.
Yeah. And Corey?
One question, Hailee, is what was it like to see your ideas come to life when you saw the beautiful illustrations that the artists had done?
I thought it was pretty cool. I was happy to finally be a published author and see the illustrations, see my ideas brought to life, because I love writing, and so to actually see it on paper with illustrations, the illustrations were awesome. So I was really excited.
That's great. That's great. Well, thank you. And that is one of my favorite parts of when we have an in-person ceremony is the author getting to meet their illustrators, because otherwise you put those words down and you have no idea what's in the minds of your illustrators. So we're really glad that everybody could participate today. And I wanted to make sure I share with you all the goodies that are going to be coming your way. For you illustrators, you will be receiving a copy of the book. You will be receiving a print from your story that you actually illustrated, and a certificate for participating. And of course, we'll be sending a check to help out your art class to Miss Peace, and a special thank you to you, because we only had 3 of the 6 high school art departments be able to actually come through for us this year. So it's very much appreciated. Wouldn't be much of a book without the illustrations. Great stories, but we need the illustrations. So that's what you're getting. And then, excuse me, Hailee's teacher, Mr. Merrihew, will be receiving a stack of books for the classroom use that he can enjoy in his teaching, and a Let's Get Started box, which is a starter kit for teachers. And sounds like you guys are already started up there in Siskiyou County, but this has a plethora of resources, whether you want to include agriculture and science or math or English, whether you want to do just a little bit with vocabulary words, or whether you want to go to the full extent. This will really give him a hand. And then, Hailee, for your regional recognition, you will be receiving a book about agriculture, along with a plaque for your regional recognition. And all these goodies will be in the mail to you folks this week. You will be receiving your medal, which has your name on the back of it. And that's always the fun part of the ceremony, is presenting you with this medal. So you'll have to think of us when you put it on, when you get it in the mail. And the very coveted e-reader that you're going to be receiving because of your talent. And then we do have an assembly certificate of recognition from Assembly Member Adam Gray, who provided this to just one more bit of recognition for your real talent in your story writing contest. So congratulations to you. And now, of course, we have a couple of thank yous I want to make sure is thank you to all of you for participating and for being on here today. We want to definitely thank our regional coordinators. The regional coordinators do the first selection of stories, and they're listed in the back of our book. Jackie Zedeker, which is, I think, your area person and does a great job. Donnie Rosasco, Tricia Stever Blattler, and Mary Landau are all our regional coordinators who help determine who's moving on to the state level. We want to thank all of the art departments who stepped up and participated this year. Inderkum High School, Florin High School, Woodland Senior High School, and Grace Davis High. Thank you so much for participating. We want to thank our sponsors, JR Simplot Company, California Farm Bureau, and Zenith Agribusiness. Everybody coming together to be a part of this is what makes it such a success, and it's such a win-win for everybody. So with that, I want to thank you all very much and tell you to have a great day and keep on writing and illustrating.